Time moves, yet nothing changes. Hours slip past like grains of sand, invisible until the heap of regret grows too heavy to lift. The phone lights up with another notification, another motivational video, another promise of tomorrow, but the weight of today presses harder. The mirror reflects a shadow of who you could be, staring back with eyes that know the truth. Waiting for motivation is surrendering to time itself. Somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers, "If you don't start now, you'll never start at all." Every second wasted is a road you'll never walk, a chance that will vanish. The truth is harsh, yet liberating. You don't need motivation. You need the courage to begin, and the resolve to refuse the lie that tomorrow is guaranteed. The storm of your life rages quietly, and only action can anchor you before it's too late. We craft excuses as if they were shields, believing they protect us from failure, yet they only imprison us in stagnation. Every reason to delay, every whispered laughter, is a chain binding your potential. In the mirror, your reflection stares with quiet judgment, not cruel, but truthful. The life you imagine requires action, not inspiration. You've been waiting for a surge of motivation that may never come, hoping tomorrow will magically arrive with courage in hand. But truth cuts sharper than fear. The only time to start is now. The only hand to hold is your own. And the only shield worth having is courage forged in motion. Time mocks the passive, a relentless river that never pauses. Ghosts of opportunities drift past silently. Friends achieved what you only imagined. Doors closed that will never reopen. The weight of inaction is heavier than any fear. It presses, insidious, against the chest, whispering lies of, "Not yet." The storm doesn't wait. Your hands still are betraying the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The call is urgent. Grasp it, or it fades forever. This is the moment your story teeters between potential and regret, and no motivation video can rescue what hesitation has already endangered. Sometimes the world nudges with subtle force, a tap on the shoulder that must not be ignored. A conversation, a glance, a truth spoken plainly. These are catalysts disguised as ordinary moments. The truth hits with a quiet power. Your excuses are meaningless in the presence of reality. Fear trembles at exposure, yet courage ignites in acknowledgement. You may not feel ready, you may not feel inspired, but the tap has come. To act is to live. To wait is to decay. One choice separates stagnation from transformation. And that choice lives in your hands, not in fleeting sparks of motivation. The first step is quiet but decisive. It does not roar, it simply begins. Foot forward, hand lifted, choice made. The air changes, heavier burdens feel lighter. The world subtly shifts in response to action. Motivation is irrelevant. What matters is movement. Momentum is born, not of waiting for the perfect feeling, but of daring to start in imperfection. One step, one breath, one choice. This is the fulcrum where potential pivots toward reality. The storm is still there, but now you are anchored, no longer drifting aimlessly in currents of delay. The journey starts not with inspiration, but with courage, discipline, and unwavering commitment to act now. Fear whispers in the quiet corners of your mind, convincing you that waiting is safe. But shadows grow longer with every passing hour, stretching across the floor of your life until they consume what could have been. Each excuse, each justification is a brick in a wall you build around your potential. And yet, beyond that wall, light waits, patient, unwavering, relentless. It is a truth you have avoided. Nothing changes until you confront your hesitation. You are not lazy, you are cautious. You are not incapable, you are afraid. And courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving forward despite it. Someone asks the questions you've refused to answer yourself. Why wait? Why fear? Why surrender to comfort when the world calls for action? The glance pierces deeper than any argument, exposing cracks in your reasoning. Truth does not negotiate. It merely exists, unwavering, until recognized. Excuses crumble when faced with quiet insistence. The mirror you avoided now demands honesty. The life you ignored now demands presence. One choice can undo years of delay, yet you hesitate still. This is the moment where courage must speak louder than fear, and in that silence your story pivots on the edge of a decision. Later is a trap dressed in promise. It whispers of preparation, patience, and timing, yet it only delays the inevitable truth. Time will not pause for your comfort. Each moment spent waiting is a brick in a cage you build around your own potential. Regret grows quietly in these spaces, unnoticed until it becomes impossible to lift. Action is not inspired by readiness. It is forged in defiance of delay. To wait is to surrender. To act, even imperfectly, is to claim life itself. The choice is yours. Continue building the cage or break free before it closes completely. The storm isn't outside, it's within. Every fear, every doubt, every unspoken excuse rages, tearing at the edges of your resolve. Your mind offers arguments, rationalizations, not yet, whispers, a hurricane of inertia. Yet amidst the turmoil, a single thought pierces. You cannot wait forever. The storm is both enemy and teacher, urging you to act before it's too late. The path forward is narrow, uncertain, yet it exists. And in that choice lies the power to reshape not just today, but the years you thought were already lost. The first challenge is not external. It is the confrontation with yourself. Standing at the edge of hesitation, you feel the tremor of fear, the pull of comfort, the seductive call of later. Yet even the smallest step forward defies the weight of inaction. Courage is forged here, not in grand gestures, but in the decision to act despite doubt. The storm within calms as momentum begins to build. One step, one choice, one act of defiance against delay. That is where the journey truly begins. A sudden knock echoes through the apartment, a jolt that cuts through the fog of delay. Life rarely waits for preparation. It delivers moments unannounced, demanding a response. You realize the opportunity you've postponed is slipping through your fingers, a whisper of what could have been. The weight of hesitation presses harder than ever, and for the first time you feel its consequences. Each second wasted now seems louder, heavier, undeniable. The warning bell has rung. Ignore it at your peril. Action is no longer optional. It is survival for your own potential. The knock is answered too late. A message slips past, an opportunity vanished. The realization is immediate and sharp. Hesitation costs more than fear ever could. You feel the hollow weight of regret in your chest, the ghost of what might have been lingering like smoke. The world continues indifferent to your delay. Motivation would have been meaningless here. Only immediate, decisive action could have saved the moment. The truth pierces the heart. Every second wasted is irretrievable. The choice to begin now has never been more urgent, never more unavoidable. Regret ignites a storm within. Questions swirl violently. Why didn't I act? What if this is the pattern for the rest of my life? Fear clashes with determination, excuses with raw truth, inertia with the sudden spark of resolve. It is uncomfortable, painful, but necessary. Only when you confront the cost of delay do you understand the stakes. Action is no longer a suggestion, it is the only antidote to the creeping poison of procrastination. In this storm, clarity emerges. Start or remain trapped in a life of could-have-beens. The mirror no longer hides truth, it reveals it. Every hesitation, every unclaimed opportunity, reflected in sharp clarity. Your reflection is both accuser and teacher, showing what you have avoided, the wasted hours, the unfulfilled promises, the silent potential. It is a painful moment, yet illuminating. Motivation would not have led you here, only facing reality, accepting responsibility, and choosing to act can transform reflection into action. The storm may rage, but now you see the path forward, illuminated by the stark light of truth. A deep breath. One choice. One decisive movement. The storm is still there, but the paralysis is broken. You begin, not because motivation arrived, not because fear disappeared, but because the truth demanded it. Momentum shifts in subtle but undeniable ways. The first act of courage, no matter how small, sends ripples through the inertia of a life postponed. You step forward into possibility, and though the path is uncertain, it is alive, breathing, real. Action has replaced hesitation, and the journey toward transformation begins at last. The silence is deafening. Every unmade choice, every postponed dream, echoes off bare walls. You sit alone, the weight of years pressing down. The gravity of inaction, undeniable. The world outside moves on, indifferent to your suffering. Shadows crawl along the floor, mimicking the creeping despair in your chest. Nothing can shield you from this moment. Not motivation, not hope deferred. Only confrontation remains. The emptiness is raw, relentless, but it is also necessary. Here at the lowest point, truth reveals itself unmasked. If you do not rise, no one else will lift you. Memories of wasted time rise like ghosts. Moments ignored, chances abandoned, ambitions that faded in the silence of procrastination. Each, later whispered to yourself, now reverberates like a warning. The past is a mirror, unforgiving and stark, showing how much life has been surrendered to delay. Pain is sharper here, yet it is instructive, a teacher of rare intensity. You feel it in your bones. The price of hesitation cannot be repaid. And amidst this storm of memory, a spark flickers. The realization that starting now, even in small steps, is the only path toward redemption. The storm is no longer external. It rages inside. Fear, doubt, guilt, and longing collide violently. Your chest tightens. Thoughts spiral, and every instinct screams, retreat. Yet, in this turbulence, clarity emerges. Waiting has consequences, action is urgent, and the power to change resides within you alone. The storm does not relent, it demands decision. You cannot escape it, nor can you delay. The only way forward is through the tempest, each step a defiance of the chaos inside. Courage is tested, forged and revealed in this crucible of despair. Tears come unbidden, carrying the weight of years ignored. Choices postponed and opportunities lost. You confront yourself fully, without shield or excuse. Pain is no longer abstract. It is visceral, heavy, and undeniable. And yet, it is here, in this raw vulnerability, that courage begins to take root. Motivation is irrelevant. What matters is acceptance, acknowledgement, and the decision to move despite fear. The storm is still present, but now it serves as a catalyst, urging you to rise, to act, to reclaim what hesitation has threatened to steal. Silence follows the storm, heavy but cleansing. In the stillness, clarity surfaces. Action must replace delay. Fear must bow to resolve. The years lost are mourned, but they do not define the future. The first step forward is born here, not in inspiration, not in motivation, but in quiet determination. You rise, shakily at first, aware of every tremor, yet committed. The storm may linger, but it no longer controls you. Today you act. Today, the journey begins in earnest. Words spoken softly can carry the weight of mountains. Maya's voice cuts through the storm in Ethan's mind. Waiting for motivation is waiting for a shadow. Truth demands action. Discipline is what builds what inspiration only dreams of. The clarity is electric, a shockwave dispelling hesitation. Every excuse trembles, every fear falters. You realize that nothing outside you, no video, no quote, no fleeting spark, can replace the simple act of beginning. Action is the bridge between potential and reality. The storm inside begins to settle, and the first light of resolve breaks through. Truth does not demand applause. It simply stands, unwavering. You see it now. Waiting has been the thief, not the world. Every excuse that once seemed justified now appears trivial, almost laughable, against the enormity of what action can achieve. Courage is born in recognition of this truth. You begin to see the path ahead, not perfect, not fully lit, but real. Each choice, each deliberate movement becomes a victory over the inertia that once ruled your life. The awakening is subtle, yet undeniable. The power to change lies within, waiting to be claimed. The first action is small, almost imperceptible, yet monumental. You pick up the scattered notes, open the laptop, begin to write the first line of a plan you had delayed for years. Fingers tremble, heart races, but motion replaces hesitation. Momentum is born not from inspiration, but from courage applied. Each movement is proof. You can begin. You do not need a wave of motivation. You need only to act consistently, decisively, and without delay. The first domino falls, and the cascade begins. Each small act becomes a triumph, a victory over the inertia that once dominated life. The storm inside diminishes with every completed task, every choice made, every step forward. Progress is incremental, subtle, yet undeniable. The truth resonates louder than fear. Action creates momentum. Momentum breeds confidence, and confidence transforms potential into reality. Motivation, once sought like a fleeting wind, now seems irrelevant. What matters is movement, discipline, and the courage to continue. Momentum grows quietly, almost unnoticed at first, until you feel the tide turn. Hesitation loses its grip. Excuses crumble. Fear softens at the edges, replaced by determination tempered with clarity. Each completed task, each decisive step forward, strengthens the foundation for what comes next. You see now. That motivation is a fleeting illusion. Action is eternal. And with this revelation, you rise fully, ready to face challenges not with hope alone, but with the certainty of deliberate, courageous motion. The journey accelerates, and the storm within finally begins to yield. Momentum brings its first challenge. The tasks you once ignored now demand more effort, more focus. Resistance surfaces, not from the world, but from your own lingering doubts. And yet you no longer freeze. You meet the obstacle head-on, each movement deliberate, each choice calculated. The rhythm of action strengthens. Fear loses its dominion, and hesitation fades into memory. Progress is not linear, but it is unstoppable when courage guides each step. Small victories accumulate, each one reinforcing the last. Tasks completed, decisions made, obstacles overcome. These tiny triumphs become the scaffolding of transformation. Confidence grows subtly, almost imperceptibly, until hesitation feels like a distant memory. The storm no longer controls your steps. It only tests your determination. Action breeds more action, and the rhythm of progress becomes its own motivation, unwavering and self-sustaining. The path is never smooth. New challenges emerge, more complex, demanding persistence and focus. Yet the difference is profound. Hesitation no longer dominates. Each problem is met with measured action, each setback with renewed determination. Momentum carries you forward. The weight of fear lightened by the consistency of effort. You realize that transformation is not born of a single leap, but of repeated, deliberate motion toward the goal. Signs of progress appear in tangible ways. Tasks once deferred are completed. The environment shifts subtly. Order replaces chaos. Clarity replaces confusion. Confidence replaces doubt. Each small success is proof. You can act, you can overcome, you can build the life once only imagined. Momentum becomes palpable, and the invisible current of determination propels you forward with quiet inevitability. Motivation is no longer needed. Action sustains itself, unstoppable and real. The current of action pulls you forward, unstoppable. Each day becomes a deliberate step, each decision a building block of transformation. The storm still whispers, but it has lost its power. You move with clarity, momentum carrying weight and purpose, proof that decisive action, discipline, courage, and commitment outlasts the fleeting spark of motivation. The journey is no longer about hope alone. It is about consistent, deliberate motion toward what you know you can achieve. The first true transformation comes quietly, almost imperceptibly. You move not because you are inspired, but because you have chosen to act. Fear no longer commands your steps. Hesitation has no home here. Each deliberate motion builds momentum, each choice a testament to courage. The storm of doubt lingers only as a shadow of its former power. You feel it. The life you imagined is possible because you began, not because motivation arrived. Action is your anchor, and in it, you find freedom, clarity, and strength. The moment that once threatened to break you now becomes a testament to resilience. The tasks that felt insurmountable are completed. The decisions that paralyzed you are made. Every action confirms the truth. Waiting is wasted. Hesitation is costly. And only decisive, consistent motion transforms life. You feel a surge, not of fleeting motivation, but of enduring confidence, self-reliance, and the quiet joy of knowing you have reclaimed your own story. Transformation is no longer abstract. It is visible. The clutter is reduced. The tasks are completed. The environment reflects focus and purpose. You see it in yourself. Posture, expression, clarity of thought. Action has replaced delay. Momentum carries you forward effortlessly. Fear only a faint echo. Motivation may have been absent, but its absence no longer matters. You are living proof that truth, discipline, and decisive action outweigh the fleeting allure of inspiration. In the quiet of accomplishment, you realize something profound. Motivation is not required to start, but action creates a force that inspires itself. Every completed task, every deliberate step, resonates as proof of possibility. The storm is gone, replaced by clarity, focus, and purpose. What was once a struggle against inertia is now a celebration of momentum. You have become the living example of what happens when truth, courage, and discipline outweigh waiting for fleeting inspiration. You look forward and see the endless possibilities. The journey is not over. It has only begun. Motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and unnecessary. Action is eternal. Courage, discipline, and deliberate steps shape the life you were meant to live. The storm may come again, but you are no longer at its mercy. You move forward with unwavering resolve, the proof in every deliberate motion. Start now. Act relentlessly, and let your life be the evidence that waiting is the enemy, and action is everything.